Speaking, by the way, of malignancies, this is just hilarious. We've talked for years about the debt and deficit being a political football. Both Democrats and Republicans throw the football back and forth to some degree. Republicans do it more. And Republicans claim to be about low deficits, cutting the debt when a Democratic president is in the White House. But when all of a sudden a Republican president is in, they don't talk about it. George W. Bush exploding the debt, Donald Trump exploding the debt. You get a Democrat in the White House, all of a sudden, oh, infrastructure, COVID stimulus. If Biden wins, you know you will hear it. How are we going to afford that? Well, deranged and depraved Republican Senator Ted Cruz is taking it a step further. Instead of saying the debt doesn't matter, he's instead saying Trump never ran on reducing the deficit or the debt. Now, of course, Trump not only ran on it, Trump hilariously promised to completely eliminate the national debt by running huge surpluses during his first term. He's done the opposite. He's run record deficits. You have to see the video to believe it. Listen to the audio. Here is Ted Cruz trying to pull this on Jonathan Swan from a forthcoming interview on Axios on HBO. Jonathan Swan instantly fact-checking him, and Ted Cruz just has to come up with some other lie.
He said, the deficit's the worst thing in the world when Barack Obama's president, but Donald Trump came in and, we're not so worried about that anymore. He's right, isn't he?
So look, I'm very worried about the debt, and I'm worried about it under Trump. Now, to be fair, Trump didn't campaign on cutting the debt.
He did. He said he was going to eliminate the national debt in 8 years.
He also said something, I'm the king of debt in 2016.
Right.
So we actually have to look into this in detail, because this is not merely Ted Cruz being a buffoon. It is Ted Cruz being a buffoon, but this is part of a bigger sort of transition that many Republicans are making in case Joe Biden were to win. What many Republicans are doing is starting to pretend to care about the deficit again, so that if Joe Biden wins and does a coronavirus stimulus, they can go back to, we can't afford this. The debt, the debt, the debt. Now, of course, Trump did run on paying off the national debt. He said repeatedly that his tax plan was going to be so good and create so much growth that we'd run a surplus and pay off the debt within 4 or 5 years of him becoming president. Here's Trump telling Hannity he could do it in 5 years or maybe even in less time.
We can balance the budget very quickly.
But you think in 5 years?
I think over a 5-year period, and I don't know, maybe I could even surprise you.
There's a ton of these clips. I won't bore you with them. But then Ted Cruz, when he's called out, says, well, Trump did also say he's the king of debt. This is idiocy. This is idiocy. When Trump said he's the king of debt, he wasn't bragging about, I will increase the deficit. I'm the king of debt as far as growing the national debt is concerned. What Trump was saying was, I'm the king of debt. I know how to renegotiate the debt. I know how to reduce it or restructure it, which he also hasn't done as president. How pathetic is Ted Cruz? As far as the facts go, to just get them in here, we are putting a chart up for our video audience of the total federal public debt over time, which, as you can see, even aside from the massive spike at the time of coronavirus, the debt was trending up faster during Donald Trump than during Barack Obama's presidency. And everything Ted Cruz says about it makes no sense. So this is the same tired game that's been played for decades. Democrat comes in, slows down deficit growth. Sometimes, like Bill Clinton, even generates a surplus. Then Republicans come in and do something insane to blow it up, like George W. Bush invading a country that didn't even attack us. Democrat comes back in, Barack Obama slows down deficit growth. Every time he wants to spend, Republicans say, how are we going to pay for it? Trump runs on eliminating the debt, blows it up, and in comes Ted Cruz saying, well, Trump never really ran on it. So yes, both sides play the debt deficit games, but Republicans are the ones actually increasing the deficit like no other. And Ted Cruz really needs to go, as a reminder. Now, sadly, he's not on the ballot right now. He just won re-election in 2018. He'll be back on the ballot in 2024. His time will come. We can hope. We can hope.